What's this? Good evening. I'm yuhlile Jiminy Cricket. We interrupt your day to bring you this breaking news about Starbucks' recently launched fall menu. The coffee company likes to treat its fans to an array of pastries and drinks inspired by the fall season. However, as fans flocked to their local Starbucks this year to get their hands on the pumpkin spice latte, they were shocked to see that the popular fall menu item, the pumpkin scone, was nowhere to be found on the bakery case. When asked about this, Starbucks released a statement saying that this year of 2023 would not be the year of the pumpkin scone, and encouraged avid Starbucks lovers to try their other array of pastry items that were actually going to be featured on the menu this year. Starbucks, on behalf of all pumpkin scone lovers across the nation, count your days. This can't be real. How can this be? No, this can't be happening. This can't. Without my pumpkin scone, it's not Christian Girl Adam anymore. No, I have to be brave. I have to do something about this. I'm taking matters into my own hands. Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. So a little background info, I recently recorded this exact video of me making these pumpkin scones. Unfortunately, the recipe that I used, I didn't really like. They weren't really Starbucks dupes like the recipe said they were gonna be. So I'm gonna be using this other recipe that I found on Instagram, so that's what I'm gonna be looking over at my laptop. Let's get started because I have class at 1:30. It's currently 9:22. Let's see if I can actually get this done. Okay, first things first, wash your hands. So I need a 1/4 cup of heavy cream for the scones and then to also brush on top when I make them. I don't have any heavy cream. However, I found a recipe to DIY it and it's basically just milk and butter. 1/4 cup there. I'm gonna put it in for this is kind of small, so 30 seconds probably. All right, there we go. I feel like a butter churning pilgrim from the 1500s.
I wish somebody would have told me that someday these will be the good old days.
All right, let's add that in. Mix that right up. What? The butter freaking, oh my god, the butter crystallized and it didn't, okay. Putting it back in the microwave for a minute. This is really the stupidest thing I've ever done. Just look at this, guys. It looks like oatmeal, porridge, vomit. I don't, really? Okay, in my defense, the stupid instructions did not say to heat up the milk or else the fucking butter would. Ugh. All right, so while that's cooking, we're gonna do the first set of the instructions, which is to preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, I'm very Mexican. I keep a pan in my oven. And it's separated. All right. We're gonna give that 2 more minutes. It says to add the heavy cream, egg, pumpkin puree, and vanilla extract. 1/2 cup is, all right, so tomato puree is 125, so I feel like that's around the same as pumpkin puree. Watch me be so wrong. 125. There we go. Perfect. Oh, so I do have some leftover. I can still make my little pumpkin cream cold foam that I keep making. Because, oh my god, guys, I have been such a fiend for the pumpkin cream chai latte from Starbucks. It's so good. 3/4 minus 1/4 is 1/2. So when I get to the 1/2 mark, 1 hand, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1/2 teaspoon, 3 of these. I heard from somewhere, I don't exactly remember where, but that you apparently can get high from drinking vanilla extract just straight up.
Let's go to the beach, let's go get away. They say
I'm gonna whisk this together. Next up, in a separate bowl, whisk together the flour, granulated sugar, brown sugar, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves, and baking powder until combined. 2 1/4 cups of flour in grams. 21. Let's go. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. We have again this half a teaspoon. And add 4 of those. 1/4 cup granulated sugar in grams. 1/4 cup brown sugar in grams. Weighs 55. And then we need 1 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. I don't have nutmeg and I don't have cloves. So instead what I'm gonna do is, because the pumpkin pie spice already comes with all of those things, I'm just going to add the total amount of all those spices. So that would be 2.5 of teaspoon. And we're gonna whisk it all together. Okay, now it says to add the butter. So we have our 1/2 cup of butter here and a knife.
No!
And it says to cut it into little cubes. Okay, so here we have our diced butter. And next it says to use either a pastry cutter or 2 forks to push the butter into the flour. And I'm watching the video right now. I don't have a pastry cutter, so we're just going to like plop this in and then use the 2 forks. Okay, so here's my bowl. Here's my butter. Just gonna plop that in there. I mean, the last time I did this recipe, I did it with my hands because the recipe did not tell me to use either a pastry cutter or 2 forks. So I had to get creative. Okay, we're just gonna... You know, I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show recently, and you know, not gonna lie, I feel like I would win that. Like, I'm just saying, I have a lot of, you know, very good baker history behind me. I mean, the whole reason why I got into baking was because of my dad. He actually has his own YouTube channel, in Spanish, of course, of where he makes, you know, Mexican sweetbread. And I feel like that would really help me out when it comes to the Great British Baking Show. For example, like Cake Week, which is always a theme in every collection of the series. I feel like I would make like a really good, like, Mexican chocolate inspired cake. Add in the wet ingredients. Just gotta fold it in, you know, nice and smooth. Is it starting to look like a dough yet? Okay, so she didn't actually really incorporate the entire mixture here in the bowl. She actually tossed it out and started kneading it with her hands. So that's what we're gonna do. That much. Just because I don't want to like have an overworked dough with hella flour, so it becomes like really like stodgy. Yes, I learned that word from Paul Hollywood too. Can't you tell? So I think this is thick enough. And I think it's even. I'm trying to look at it from the side, and I think it is. Now we're gonna get our knife.
No!
And we're gonna cut this into 8 little triangles. Oh yeah, these are way nicer looking than the ones that I made last time. Before adding them into the oven, we're gonna brush them with some of our homemade heavy cream. But one thing I was definitely not happy about from the last recipe was the glaze. The glaze was very runny and it did not look like the Starbucks one at all. But then again, the Starbucks one is probably made from like chemicals and was 3D printed, but still, I was expecting better. We're gonna just plop that right in there. So we're gonna leave those in there for about 12 to 15 minutes or until a toothpick comes clean. I don't know why I'm hunched over like this. But yeah, let the time start now. In the meantime, while these are cooking, I have washed and now we're going to use this bowl for our icing. So starting off, we're gonna get a cup of powdered sugar. We're gonna need a tablespoon of melted butter too. Let's melt this for about 30 seconds. In the meantime, we're gonna need a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Let's add that in. And then we're going to need 4 tablespoons of this heavy cream. High-key, guys, this low-key smells like ass. Like the heavy whipping cream, and I'm not sure why. Let's give this a nice good stir. I don't know if it's the vanilla that I'm using, but that does not look very white. Okay, let's see if it's time to take them out. I think so. Ugh. That icing is now set, so I'm gonna get another bowl and then we're going to be making the pumpkin glaze. Starting off 1 tablespoon of pumpkin puree. Alright, next we're gonna need 1/2 cup of powdered sugar. Next we're gonna need a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. 1/4 teaspoon, there we go. I do have what looks to be about 1 tablespoon of this heavy cream, which I'm probably not going to be using for anything else. Probably does need whip. Yeah, it does need.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
That is very liquidy. I think I might have made a mistake. Should I leave it to set in the fridge? Is that what needs to happen? That's what I'm gonna do with the other icing, because the other icing is also kind of droopy and it's not very white. Okay, we're gonna do that. We're gonna leave this to set in the fridge for like maybe an hour. Oh, and in case you didn't believe me about filming this video beforehand, here's the proof. These are the scones I made last time. They're just in the fridge now because nobody wanted to eat them.
A few moments later.
So here's the problem. I'm a little bit impatient. And by little, I mean a lot. I did not wait an hour. I actually only waited 40 minutes. I think it's good enough. I think it's, yeah. So I think I'm just gonna like take the icing and just... It's still kind of runny, not gonna lie.
One eternity later.
I let these set in the fridge for a little bit while I was doing this. So here comes the moment of truth. Runny. That's the finished product.
Let me in your world, you know.
Okay, but not only do they have to look good, they also have to taste good too. So let's try one of these. It looks very rustic. Bone apple teeth. Let's try this. Wait, what the heck? Why did these low-key eat though? Hold on. These are really good. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you liked it, make sure to give it a big, juicy Christian Girl Autumn thumbs up. And subscribe for more great content like this. I will see you all in the next one. Adios. I gotta go all over here.